Welcome back, friends, for another Graphic Novels Out Loud with Miss Ashlee from the Crystal Lake Public Library. Today we are going to read a graphic novel in our Hoopla app. It's called Bird, Cat, Dog, and it's by Lee Nordling and Maritzel Bosch. And graphic novels are many times driven by the visual narrative, not the text. And visual literacy is an important skill. It's one you're going to use your entire life. I promise you. And this is going to be particularly important for our book today because you'll see that it doesn't have any words. And there's no right or wrong way to read it. You're just making sense of what you see. And then the author does include some notes about it. Okay? So the author says, read across the top of every page. And the bird says, and watch me escape to freedom. It says, who is the hero of this story? I am the hero of my own story. And then the middle panel, which is a different color. Read across the middle of every page and watch me search for adventure. That's the cat. Who is the hero of this story? And the cat says, I am the hero of my own story. And then at the bottom panel, read across the bottom of every page and watch me protect my house. Who is the hero of this story? And the dog says, I am the hero of my own story. And then at the bottom it says, or read each page from top to bottom and get the whole story. So today I'm going to read each page from top to bottom. And then I'm going to invite you to check out this book through our Hoopla app, or if you have access to Epic through your school, which I think a lot of you do, this is in Epic. So you can read it then, and you can take your time. You can read it however you want, and you can see what other things you can discover in this story. Okay, so in the top we have, looks like a bird cage with maybe a towel or some sort of sheet or covering on it. In the middle we have a door to a house. It looks like a little pet door. And then I can see in the window there's a cat sleeping there. And then in the bottom I see a doghouse. Must be morning because the owner is taking the cover off the cage for the bird. And we're going inside the house and we see the cat sleeping. And we see the dog in his doghouse. And the bird is getting ready to leave the cage. The cat wakes up and stretches and hops down, and the dog opens his eyes. And the bird, with a big smile, flies out the window, up into the sky. And the cat exits the house through the door. It looks like there's a smile on the cat's face. And the dog, what do you think the dog looks like? I don't think the dog's smiling. I think he looks serious, maybe, or concerned. And the bird is flying up high and high and then flies down right to the cat. Ooh! And the cat tries to pounce on it, gets up on the fence, and down at the bottom here, the dog hears the cat and sees the cat chasing the bird. And the bird is flying loop-de-loops up in the air and then flies down. And then the cat pounces, but misses. And the cat's right on the dog's fence. And the bird sees the dog. You can see the line from the bird's eye down to the dog. And the bird looks like the bird wants to stay away from the dog, so the bird does some loop-de-loops. And the cat bounds up onto the branch. Oh, but didn't get all the way up there. The cat's trying to get up there and the dog jumps and snaps at the cat. Oh, but doesn't get the cat's tail. The cat doesn't look so happy right now. And let's see, the bird is flying in the sky and you can see there's musical notes around the bird, which lets us know that the bird's singing and flying and is happy. And the cat got its body all the way up on the branch. And it looks like the dog can't reach. So the cat looks pretty happy too. The dog looks very fierce and protective. And look at the dog above his head in the bottom right-hand corner. There's a bird flying again. But what comes into the picture? A bird of prey, a raptor, flying towards the little yellow bird. Yellow bird sees the big bird. Oh no! Down below we can see the cat and the dog. And the cat is looking pretty good here. The cat sticks out its tongue at the dog. Nana, you can't get me. And all of a sudden the bird flies right over top of the cat and down into the dog's yard, trying to get away from the other bird. So the dog takes off after it. And we see at this pane in the top, the raptor, the big bird of prey, flies by. The cat's watching. The dog is seriously chasing the little yellow bird. And the little yellow bird can't get past the cat, so goes back to the dog's yard. And then it goes back towards the cat, and the dog looks ready to pounce. But the yellow bird flies underneath the cat and makes it through the cat's paws and escapes. And the cat hops off the other side of the branch away from the dog's yard. And the dog is left alone in the yard. The bird flies off, and the bird, I think, is safe because if we see in the top right-hand corner, the bird is singing. There's musical notes, but the bird doesn't know. The big bird is still flying above. And the cat hops down and is walking away. We see its little tail. And the dog is relieved that everyone is gone and left the dog alone. So the dog curls up. And then we can see the bird. You can see the bird is flying lower than the big bird. But then the big bird is getting closer. And then it reaches out with its talons again. At the same time, the cat is pouncing and playing around in the woods. And the dog, it looks like if you look at the dog's ears, there's little lines by the ears. It looks like they perked up and they might hear something. So the dog gets up and looks around to see what's going on. And the big bird tries to get the little bird again, but the little bird escapes and then startles the squirrel in the tree. And the squirrel runs down the tree, and who's waiting at the bottom but the cat? Ah, says the squirrel. And that's just too much happening outside of the yard for the dog. Sniffs around and starts to dig a little bit by the fence. And then the bird lands, and the bird sees something on the ground. What do you think those are? I can't tell if it's leaves. And the bird has a little star by its wing. Does the bird think that maybe they're feathers? And off goes the cat after the squirrel. But then who is this? Another cat. And the dog just can't take it. Digs and digs and digs and digs, trying to get out from that fence. Let's see. Oh, maybe those are the bird's feathers. Maybe that's the yellow bird's feathers on the ground. There's a star by the tail and a star by the wing. And, oh, the bird is hopping. Maybe The bird can't fly right now without those feathers. So the bird hops. And then the two cats are staring each other down. But who comes hopping in between? The yellow bird. And the dog is digging and digging and digging and digging, trying to get out. And the two cats watch the bird. They watch the bird. They look at each other. The one cat growls and the other one runs away. And the dog has made it out. He's dug under the fence. And the yellow bird is hopping and sees, is alarmed to see the big raptor bird up there still flying around, looking for it. And the new cat chases the orange cat, and they're running around, and the dog's looking around, and the dog sees the big bird of prey. So we see the big bird of prey, and we see the little yellow bird can see it and is alarmed. The line's coming out of the head, and then, oh no, looks scared, but still determined, trying to hop away because the yellow bird can't fly. And then the second cat is chasing the orange cat, and then they face off. And the dog starts to leave the yard to see what's going on. And the chase continues, and it looks like the yellow bird is able to fly now. And the yellow bird starts to fly and flies right by the two cats that are fighting. And then the big bird of prey flies right through there. And the dog goes into the forest. And the yellow bird is flying, trying to get away. And the cats are going, and the dog is going. What's this? In the very bottom right-hand corner, there's another dog. What's going to happen? Ooh, that sly little yellow bird stopped in the tree, and the big bird flew right on by. And the cats are jumping around, and the squirrel, they scare the squirrel. And then the dogs face off. And the yellow bird goes down. And, you can just see in the middle panel in the left, the little yellow bird, and the big bird sees it and starts flying down fast. But who does it meet? The cat. And the dogs see the squirrel, and the squirrel's trying to get away, and I bet I know what happens. So here comes the big bird after the little bird. The little bird looks determined there. And you can see the yellow bird's flying right down towards the two dogs that have the squirrel on the fence. And then here comes the two cats towards the fence. And oh boy, over the fence go the cats, over the fence go the birds, and the dogs are going under the fence. So they're all in the backyard together, and there is just complete chaos. You can see the bird is chasing the yellow bird, and the cats are chasing the birds, and the dogs are chasing the cats and the birds, and everyone is running around and round and round. My goodness, but it doesn't look like anyone's gotten caught yet. Looks like the yellow bird might be flying back out over the fence. Oh, nope, they're all still in there. And it looks like the yellow bird's done for, but makes a quick move. And the cat pounces towards the raptor, but the raptor flies away. And the birds are gone, the cats are leaving. And the second dog goes out under the fence. And the bird flies up and looks like it's okay. It's singing again. Oh, and it's heading back to its house, the window. And the cat hops over the fence and is padding along towards the pet door to its house. And the dog goes into its house and sits down, lays down. And the singing bird and the sleepy cat and the sleepy dog. The end, they all say. They're safe. Oh, okay. And so here's, it looks like another note from the authors, right? Because that was similar to what they told us in the beginning. They gave us some instructions. So now at the top, did you wonder about us? So look here. That's not the yellow bird. That is the big raptor bird. And that bird says, I am the hero of my own story. And then here's the second cat. I am also the hero of my story. And then down below, I am the hero of my story too. And then it looks like the author asks, how can they all be heroes? How can they all be heroes? And the squirrel says, we are all heroes of our own stories. Wow. What do you think about that? How can they all be heroes? How can both birds, both cats, both dogs, and the squirrel be the hero of their stories? I guess it depends maybe on what perspective you take, which is this book really helped us see the different perspectives, right? Let's think about the big raptor bird. The big raptor bird was trying to get lunch, maybe. And the yellow songbird was just trying to make it home. And maybe that's a different way of seeing stories. So what do you think? Why don't you talk about with your grown-ups a little bit about maybe how the cat and the second cat are heroes? Or maybe the dog and the second dog are heroes and the squirrel. And if you're not sure, go ahead and watch this video again. Or go into Hoopla with your library card and check out Bird, Cat, Dog. Or if you have access to Epic through your school, go in there and find Bird, Cat, Dog. And just read it again and see what new things you discover, because there are always new things to discover in our books. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you back here again for another Graphic Novels Out Loud soon. Bye-bye.